Oh, you don't want some?
What is that? What is that?
Get your spectral sock out, nerds. This gonna get good.
And I am Iron Man.
What is going on, everyone? It is Paul Thayer here, live with the only one, the real one. How you doing today?
Bro, right as we're about to start, I'm about to sneeze. Wow.
Bless you.
That's what I was looking for. We started this thing with a blessing. I appreciate that. That was God's plan, bro. Or maybe it was the weed. I don't know which one it was.
Little bit of both. You know, it's
But
definitely.
I just got off the treadmill. If you look at my IG, I was just posting about how I was about to be on this live stream. And I just ran 7 miles. If it wasn't for this live stream and the fact that I had to stop and pee, I exercise my lungs. That gives me the right and the capacity to, hold them. I just proved the point to about 4 or 5 people last week in Miami. Was in an in-ground pool, did the old, hey, do you guys think I could hold my breath and go from this side back down this side? I was Phelps, bro. I could have I went back and forth twice. Could have went 3, but yeah. I think the smoking and the treadmill, the combination of the two, affords me this opportunity to never blow up in a wrestling ring. For those of you that don't know, I'm formerly known as Enzo Amore, pro wrestler in the WWE, current Flyweight Champion at Fourth Rope, wrestle under the name, moniker, make music as Real1, REAL, number one. Paul and I have collaborated on a comic book called Lethal Leopard, as you can see if you're checking us out. And that's what this collaborative effort is right now. I get into my creative space, get the gym out of the way, and start smoking some weed and thinking of the greatest promos of a generation,
Yeah, that's how we do. We do have that book, Lethal Leopard, which we will dive into, but every person, gets an intro here if it's from different things. And, I made this one specifically for you, showcasing my guy real quick. It's just a couple seconds.
I wouldn't recommend not checking in. You should check in. All right. Check in.
And we're checked in with my guy here right now, Real One. We have co-created an amazing book called Lethal Leopard, which is live on Kickstarter right now. 24 interior pages. We used the likeness of Real One, designed this character. I wanted to know, what was your thought process going into creating a character that resembles yourself in the flesh to transform into this giant Anubis that you now call the Lethal Leopard?
Well, what was the first thing I kind of said to you was, before we get into the character, was just the thought of ancient exoteric knowledge, like Egypt, the Sphinx, and now with the knowledge that's parlayed through guys like Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock. Who would have thought they'd have a hand in creating a comic book for a pro wrestling character, but they really did. I listened to too much Joe Rogan. I got put on to Graham Hancock, Randall Carlson, just like everybody else probably. But really, what it boiled down to was like, okay, let's say the Earth is way older than it is. The knowledge that we have, and that the Sphinx and the water erosion on it that they claim, add 10,000 years or millions of years to what, was an advanced civilization that once existed on this earth before humans. Now we're talking about the Great Flood and every great, biblical text and or religious text that goes back centuries would tell you that there was, a flood. And Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson are of the school that it was a meteor impact on the northern, hemisphere that created a glacial, decay, that waves, a flood that took over. I don't know about Pangea. I don't know much about, the history of the land, but apparently the world was flooded, right? And that's where we get with Noah and the great text. So it really came out of, okay, imagine there's this professor that is a cool professor that would connect to a kid like me growing up when I was in college. Nowadays, a different generation of people are getting taught by a different generation of teacher, a tattooed teacher. We see scientists that are jacked and ripped nowadays, and the Gary Breckas of the world and health science and the overall interest that comes from a world like Rogan offers, where all of these things materialize, where you find comics and you find, scientists and theorists on, ancient exoteric knowledge. And imagine all of that combined into a comic book where there's this professor who studies the pyramid and the Great Sphinx, and he goes underground and he gets into, the red tape that is the Egyptian government and people that control the pyramids and whether or not you can look in them and what we know about the ancient knowledge. And imagine he gets tipped off to some crazy, knowledge, and that there's a greater power and there's reptilians and there's this whole underground world of, hybrid beings that come from an ancient knowledge of like Nephilim mentioned in the Bible. And, Genesis 6:6, is literally talking about there were giants. And if you talk about Goliath, what is David versus Goliath? So we get into like, the biblical aspects of, wait, there was a species that existed on this earth that was a hybrid god that existed with humans that, interbred. And here we are with this teacher that, comes out to find out that he's got superpowers like the Anubis that are depicted on the inside of these Egyptian pyramids all over the world. Like, we think that was just art, or do we think that there was maybe creatures walking around that look like dogs, right? So
Yeah.
it's just a combination of all that shit that is so dope that we find in a world like, Rogan having these conversations with all these historians to now the modern world where we intertwine with it, like for lack of a better word, Marvel, right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
that is the emphasis for so much of our youth and thinking about these superheroes and all these people that we love. And the characters, like, who's your top 5 favorite superheroes? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me ask you, Paul. Let me flip the microphone. Who are your
We'll
top
flip the
5
mic.
favorite? And I'm not even gonna go Marvel. Give me your top 5, dude.
So top 5 characters for me personally.
This is
and
gonna be a wild list. I've never asked you this, right?
Number 1 for me is Darth Vader. Darth Vader, the main villain.
We
of
count Star Wars as a comic book? Because I mean, at that point, are we taking Pixar and we're saying Woody, you could put him up against Mickey Mouse? Or is that the same world?
So technically, and I'm bringing Real One into this world. Real One is a creative. He is killing it on Fourth Rope. He's killing it with his music. So Marvel Comics was with Star Wars. So when the first ever Star Wars book came out was after The New Hope, and they try to fill in the gaps in between. But if we're going strictly then Marvel, DC, independent comics, I love Spawn.
What year did that pop off, Paul?
Which one?
The Marvel injunction with Star Wars and the New Hope.
So it was one of their first license. So probably whenever the New Hope came out, whatever it was, the 70s, probably a year or two after Marvel Comics started printing the Star Wars books. So they did things that they couldn't.
Now, are these valuable books?
Yeah.
So the first generation Star Wars New Hope book.
Let me see.
Is
did
a comic book that does it vary from the movie? Is it same exact thing basically?
Yeah, they tried to make it so it doesn't like get rid of canon. So I'm asking the AI gods really quick. The first Star Wars comics, let's see. Yeah, April 12th, 1977. It debuted 1 month before the original movie series hit.
So it debuted before the movie.
But they did it in anticipation for the movie, and then also on top of it
makes absolute sense. I mean, marketing. Yeah. Let's drop the comic book before we drop the fucking movie.
Yeah, and they had
the endings had to be slightly different than the movie because they didn't want to give a dead giveaway.
Well, yeah, they tried to do it like a different realm, like the same way in our comic, Lethal Leopard will be on a certain quest. That quest wouldn't relate to a different quest, you know? So I think I can claim Darth Vader at that point. So now I'm claiming Darth Vader as number one. I would like to go number two. I'm a big Spawn fan. Do you know who
Does
Spawn is?
Anakin Skywalker the child count as Darth Vader?
I would say no, because Darth Vader's kind of the evil version. Anakin's the light version. I guess when he turns, he is Darth Vader. So it's kind of like two separate characters in a way.
They're the same person. They're the same, 100%. Because when I'm heel, I'm still Enzo Amore. When I'm face, I'm still Enzo Amore, bro.
Yeah,
it's a fine line. You know what I mean. But no, actually, I'm a huge Anakin Skywalker fan. The guy who's a burn victim, just a head and a heart, or lack thereof. I don't know if I like him as much as I like. If we're breaking it down to two guys, I'm way more in on Anakin's side because I related as a child. I always loved the kid who was fighting the adults. You know what I mean? Like when you had a Peter Parker, a Spider-Man, when you had a teenage phenom per se. It's like the young cat was always my guy.
I like Anakin in a sense of who he was in Revenge of the Sith. Like this clip.
I have brought peace, freedom, justice, and security to my new empire.
My new empire. That's my Anakin. So that's kind of
heel. Full blown
he's
heel, dude. Tyrese Halliburton losing to the in the NBA Finals, bro, just tearing his Achilles, man. That's a full blown heel right there.
So Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. That's number one. Number two, I would like to say Spawn. Spawn is a big character. One of the founding members of Image Comics, one of the guys who made Venom, made this amazing character Spawn that has the longest single running issues of all time. They're on about 370 something issues. That's my number two. And then realistically, number three, who really could be the number one, is Batman. So I got three for you right there. I'm going to play it back to you. Who is your top three in this realm, excluding the character? Of course.
You gave me three.
You want five?
I asked for five. I got three.
Okay, so four. Four is hard for me. Three, I know it's just like boom, boom, boom. Four right now, I would say I like. Oh my god, I can't even think it off the top of my head. We would have to go Wolverine. That's number four. And then number five, I'm really digging the Hulk. So that's five. So Darth Vader, Spawn, Batman, Wolverine, Hulk. Five.
I just can't believe that we're including Star Wars as comic book characters, but if we're gonna break
first,
I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna say this: Lethal Leopard is my number one. How you doing? All right,
there we go.
There you go. That's my number one favorite character. All right. Then I'm not putting these four people in any order, but I mean Ghost Rider, Johnny Storm, Nightcrawler, Wolverine.
Boom. Five.
Yeah. If that's we're including Lethal Leopard, but if we're not including Lethal Leopard, now we're getting into a tough territory because, I mean, you mentioned his name. I really fuck with Venom, but I also love Spider-Man. So it'd be a toss-up between Venom or Spider-Man, honestly. And an honorable mention, Gambit. Love
Gambit's really cool.
Remember that toy they had as a kid with the plastic jacket? I might be outdating you with age.
I remember. Yeah, I was a big action figure guy.
Well, the Gambit toy came with his collar was built into the actual action figure. It had a brown collar, like he was popping his collar, like 3-6 Mafia. This motherfucker had a pop collar, right? Then his jacket was such a piece of shit, it would rip off of every single toy. I rebought the toy probably like 2 or 3 times in my life. It had a plastic jacket that was like a Ziploc bag made out of brown paper. It was just, and it would rip. And then now you got a Gambit toy with a brown jacket brim hanging out on his collar with no jacket. That was something that always irritated me. I don't know if anybody's ever touched on that, but in that world of action figure lore, that should really strike a chord like a fucking Freebird solo and Leonard Skinner, you know?
Yeah, I'm a big Gambit fan, and I didn't know we were allowed to name the own IP. So of course, in no particular order, I'm redoing it. It's Lethal Leopard, of course. I have other amazing characters like Omega, Crimson Pain. That's 2 right there. Hellsate, Lithium, boom, that's 5. You know, I create my own IP because I enjoy it. And I met you. You know, I get a lot of questions when I meet people, and they go, "How did we come together?" And you know, I met you at New York Comic Con about 2 years ago. You were killing it. You know, selling all the things that you was selling, like Prince and what is it? A high five, hug, and a handshake.
That's a Triple H, yeah.
That's a Triple H for you. And, you know, we hit it off right away. We thought to link up. I gave you some books. You thought they were cool. And, you know, we sat down, and I think it was like 2-3 hours, and we were thinking of all the craziest things we could possibly think of. I remember writing it down in the notes. We were just going back and forth. And then I had Igor, our amazing artist that does this series. And, you know, with that, we came up with the Lethal Leopard. The Lethal Leopard is a hybrid Anubis, you know, needing to escape the underworld without going into too much spoiler territory. We have $3,152 raised, 63 backers, 4 days to go. An amazing campaign all the way through. 24 interior pages. Look at the way this pops, you know, and we're diving back into who is it for fans of ancient mythology, pro wrestling, Spawn, Dragon Ball Z. You mash it all together and you get Lethal Leopard. Trapped in the depths of the underworld, Brett Lyons, a half-man, half-Anubis hybrid, will stop at nothing to find his way back home to Earth. Every page of Lethal Leopard explodes with vibrant color, high-octane action in a world unlike you've ever seen before. And you cannot beat this. This is an amazing splash page from the interiors. I know as the art process is going, I was sending you a lot of the pictures, and I know we're having a lot of fun with it. Your initial thoughts on making this title and designing this character?
Well, you know, it went basically back to, you know, if you ever watched me pro wrestle, I had the overalls, right? And I'll tell you what, first edition, we got the boots on, we got the Timbs, but I know we're worried about getting sued by Jordan, but we might need to, you know, get a hot sneaker that drops, you know what I'm saying? And that might have to be a part of the storyline. But either way, the overalls, the leopard fitted to, you know, the arm sleeve. This is what I wore when I wrestled in the WWE. I would take the overalls down, and there'd always be something written on the inside, depending on where we were wrestling. And well, back then, in those days, I was working face. So I would have the, you know, if we were in the UK, I'd drop that thing down. There'd be the Union Jack, and I'd get a huge pop. And it would be a reveal. You know, if we're in Toronto, I'd take it down, and there's the Drake album cover, and it was a fun outfit that nobody ever thought to, you know, hey, the inside of the overalls, when you take the straps down, you can take the straps down like Kurt Angle. You know what I'm saying? And it provides you with a whole, you know, opportunity. It was fun to play with. And Lord knows I still have gear like it now. And Lord knows I say, you know, I still have all my old gear, all my old outfits, but the dressing of a Lethal Leopard was just, you know, as he levels up before he's the Anubis, you're looking at Enzo, the, you know, real one, the character, the likeness of a pro wrestler right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's super sick. It pops, you know, lifelike size. My guy, like he said, what did we do? You just did an hour straight sprinting?
Oh, I just ran. Yeah, no, I just more than that. It was like 7.5 miles in like 68 minutes or some shit.
And that's what this Warrior's doing here. You know, you see the action, you see the pop. It looks exactly like you spot on. Of course, we animated to the next level with the giant sword and the blood, but it does work like that. He's able to power up, and at this point in the story, he's able to upgrade his powers. And when he exerts so much power in the Anubis form, he does explode, and then he goes back to this still super powered version of yourself. And it's been so much fun doing this. We have all the artwork done. And it was so much fun to make a brand new character, a brand new IP. And, you know, we were at New York Comic Con and we had great reception. You know, I was telling everyone, you know, all we had was flyers, you know, and we moved so many of these, like with the just flyers, people being excited. And that's why I'm really excited, especially when me and you start doing some conventions once we get these books, that these people are really going to be loving this, because the idea pops. It showcase, like when people see you, they go nuts. And now when they see this, they'll be like just an extra step in things that we're doing. And I'm super excited to have this book finished. And we are at a funding goal, which is really cool. I do see in the chat, we did have someone comment, so we're going to say what up. We have King Riv 23. He says, my
Smack
guy.
Talker John, there he is. Hell of love for Smack Talker John. Well, anybody who comes out and supports me, I see them at wrestling shows. I see them at events and signings like New York Comic Con. People like Smack Talker John, they're the people that keep you going. So people like these fans that are tuned in to the comic book world, that when you really get privy to how this business side of things really work, I mean, we're cutting out the middleman completely, because there's so many steps that come in between people and red tape that gets in the way between the hand and the hand. This is hand to hand because you're not dealing with an apparatus, a corporation that's limiting what you can say, what you can do, the vision that you have, and you're dealing directly with the artist, with the storyline, with the character creation, and you can be a part of it, and you can feel like you're a part of something as it grows, and you witness something blow up, become on a billboard or in a movie or in an action figure or on a TV. These things have happened to me in my life. I've lived it. I've gotten opportunities that would otherwise be a dream. I lived the dream. It was probably some of yours. I got to wrestle on stages that were insane, and it's all about timing and opportunity and getting in front of the right audience and the right eyes and having fans that believe in you. So the fans become the number one aspect of this entire operation, and you need to be good to the people that are good to you and get the responses, and have them have a say in what this thing is and how it operates, and more importantly than anything, feel like they're on the journey with you when this thing goes this way. There's nothing better than being at the ground floor of something. There's nothing better. And I was at the ground floor of NXT. If anybody's aware of what that is, the first NXT show that ever left the state of Florida, in Florida, I was a part of. So I know what it's like to be at the ground floor of something really special that takes off. And I know that in the comic book world, there's so many fans that are wrestling fans. So it just makes sense to work within something that I love, and with the same fans, wrestling fans that I love. You know what I'm saying?
Especially at big events like New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, like you were even shocked on how many people we were able to grab, selling these books just in our area alone. And it is a crazy medium. There's over 200,000 people there. We had great reception, and it was a great time. And thank you, King Riv, for commenting. And we're mixing things up. I throw different clips in and give people intros, but this one's for you because we got the real one here.
So an into face first, Enzo.
Boom. That's a nice one. We have another comment.
Out of
We
there.
got Ryan Demetrio 5126. He says, how you
I think it's
doing?
Demetrius. I think that 5 is an S. I think that's what he's trying to do there. But Ryan, how you doing? It's good
And
to meet
with
you. Pal.
that-
I appreciate the love, guy. Ryan, give us
You
Ryan, give us your favorite superhero if you're still there, pal.
Give us your
Number
favorite
one.
superhero. And then also this one's for you. Boom. That was an amazing clip. Six Flags had an amazing show for Fourth Rope. You are one of, I would say, the key players inside Fourth Rope. You had an amazing event at Six Flags. I was really excited to be there for the event.
I think that there's a world where we see, the Fourth Rope characters enter the Lethal Leopard. I think that, we were speaking with Zilla Fatu, and we were talking to Josh Bishop and some other guys. I think that, the core of Fourth Rope, Cha Cha Charlie, Joe Alonzo, they'd be fun characters to play with in episodes of Lethal Leopard. So who knows? See how they enter the Matrix.
Yeah, definitely a high possibility. We had some good networking through New York Comic Con, and definitely it's gonna pop. Like the books, for people that don't know, maybe check me out for the first time. I'm the creator, writer, and publisher of books Project Naosis, Voltage and Imperium. We have trade paperbacks. I have prequel books. I have made 13 issues. This is my 13th, starting with Lethal Leopard. We have 4 more in production right now as well. I am stacked to the gills, and we are making a fire product. And before we dive into the campaign, Ryan answered your question. He said, it got to be Batman.
Batman's #1, right? A lot of people are going to give you that answer. I wonder if there's got to be somebody did like a score of what are the top superheroes. I bet you if there's a top 5, it's probably Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, Wolverine. Captain America probably, or Iron Man.
Definitely Batman, Spider-Man are definitely top 2. Batman is taking the world by storm.
I bet you people would say Spider-Man's probably #1.
Definitely very iconic, especially around the world. Those are the top 3. I think it's like at the top is like it is.
Bro, we got
Mickey
fingertips. You know how to work a computer better than I do. My girl set this up for me. Do you know? Can we look up the top 5 most popular superheroes? Is there like an official poll? I don't trust it unless it's like fucking Rolling Stone or something.
Of all time. I'm asking the AI gods. So we're gonna pull that up.
All right. Hey, let me give you my guesstimates. Remember what I said?
So the thing I asked it first are who are the top 5 most popular superheroes of all time? And it is loading. And they gave me a list. Here are the top 5 most popular superheroes of all time.
I want to guess.
Wait, I'm going to say what it says before we go. Based on global recognition, longevity, comic sales, movie/TV impact, and cultural influence. And it gave me a top 5 list. Your top 5. One more time.
In no order. So I got to give the order? In no order.
No order. Just give it to me.
Spider-Man.
Okay. Well, we're doing yours. Spider-Man. Okay. So wait, you want me to say yes or no? Okay. Spider-Man. Yes.
Batman.
Yes.
Superman.
Yes.
Here's where it gets tricky.
Yeah. It's hard. You're not going to get it.
Are they counting like non-DC and Marvel shit?
Nah, it's DC and Marvel. 1 DC, 1 Marvel. Spider-Man, Superman, Batman.
And you say I'm not going to get the other one.
I don't think it's your go-to.
Maybe it's Joker.
No, it was one of my top 5, but
I said Wolverine already.
Nope.
It's no Wolverine, no Joker. The reason why I said Joker is because you said movie, cultural influence. I'm thinking of the Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson movie portrayals are probably the most, popular heel comic book characters ever played.
So they also interpret like when they do overseas, all these sales, what they are, and I'll give it to you. I'll give you the first one.
No, Iron Man.
Oh. No.
Not Iron Man. Oh, damn, that's crazy.
All right, I'll give you one.
I want to guess them.
All right, guess them. Come on. Speed roll.
Why are we speeding? I got nothing but time in my hands.
Ryan says Green Lantern maybe. No.
That was a terrible guess, Ryan. I'm gonna be
terrible. Green Lantern sucks. No, I was kidding. Green Lantern
wasn't Wolverine.
Wasn't Wolverine. Wasn't Green Lantern.
I didn't say Green Lantern, to be clear. It wasn't Wolverine.
Yeah.
And it's not Iron Man.
Correct.
I've already got 3 of them. And they're probably the top 3. Now we're talking 4 or 5. People are out of their fucking mind. Captain America?
No. Captain America is definitely top 10, but he's not.
Who the fuck
and just so you know, honorable mentions is Captain America and Wolverine, but if so they said no. And we're asking ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. It's a flawed enterprise. All right, let me think this through though. These scumbags are trying to tell me it's not Wolverine.
You got it.
Not Iron Man. Is it a female?
One female, one male.
They're scumbags. They put a female in there, just throw it off, try to get their DIE, whatever.
It is the female, though. It is the female. I wish I had a thing for her. I don't. I have a thing for the other person, though.
Storm?
No.
Wait, what the fuck? The female?
Yeah, no
Scarlett
Storm.
Johansson?
No.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Superwoman?
Superwoman? No. Close with words.
Anybody home? Hey, think with fly.
Catwoman?
No. I gotta give it to you, dude.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman? They're called
Wonder Woman
top five.
and
She had a
Classic
show in-
John Byrne Brown in hand. Now, you fought the Hulk in this outfit, no?
the Hulk.
The Hulk.
The Hulk. So one more time recap. We have number 1, debut 1938, Superman, the original superhero. Number 2 is Batman, debut 1939. Spider-Man, debut in 1962. Wonder Woman, debut 1941. And Hulk, 1962. He's pop culture's most popular monster. Massive mainstream recognition, one of the most enduring characters. And you got to remember, he was one of the first TV shows for Marvel. He was one of the...
So was Wonder Woman, bro.
You know, so they get in there.
They're counting on that boomer generation that showed it to their kids, that they made the movies for all their children like me to watch. You know, they had the Wonder Woman, they had the Hulk show.
Lou
What's the name of
Ferrigno.
the guy? He's deaf. He was a bodybuilder that played him in the movies.
Lou Ferrigno.
I see Lou Ferrigno at these signings a lot of the time. Is he still alive?
Yeah, I think so.
God bless Lou Ferrigno.
God bless. We love the Hulk. I'm a Hulk
Shout
guy.
out Big Lou.
You
Shout
know.
out Big Lou, hard of hearing. Big on heart,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't think he's deaf, though. I don't think he's deaf.
Hard on muscles, hard on hearing. He's ready to go.
Now, diving back in, I want to go over some of the interior pages that we've shown. This is
Imagine I just
inside.
made that up about Lou Ferrigno being deaf, dude. Is that an alternate timeline that I'm on?
He's deaf, and that's why he
It
yells.
might be an alternate timeline. I can't call it. You know that we're in different realms, and as you can see in one realm in the Lethal Leopard comic book, I'm a fucking Anubis, and in another one, I'm a doctor, and in another realm, I'm a kick-ass fucking human being yielding a microphone lightsaber, dude.
And with that, you know, the Anubis Lethal Leopard in our story, he has the power to take on other Anubis's powers, because the whole point is he needs to escape the underworld. And really what the Anubis is the person that passes through realms. Like if you need to go to the underworld, the Anubis will get you there. If you need to go to these other realms, the Anubis gets you there. And he's trying to find the Anubis that he can absorb to go back to Earth. And as you can see, this one has wings, and he was able to absorb the power. And for his next quest, rips out the wings and flies and ready to go. And the flying and the wings was 100% your idea. I originally had the character without wings. You're
Bro,
like,
what
where's
is a
his
superhero if he can't fucking fly, dude? I'm not
Yeah.
trying to hear.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
trying to hear it from nobody.
Yeah.
All right. I love me, as I said, some Johnny Storm. Okay. He was dope as I saw it. Wolverine is the man. And I'm going to tell you why Spider-Man and Wolverine are awesome. People love them. They got, you know why? You know what my theory is on it?
What?
Do you know why they are a top superhero?
Wolverine?
Well, let's just say Spider-Man proven top 5 just because you saw it. But they all share pretty much one thing in common. They're all orphans. They're all kids with parents that have either died or they've witnessed their death or they've been taken away from their family. And they all go through tragedy. And they go through it young in their teenage years. And they draw our empathy as listeners and viewers. And we can sympathize with a child. So these people who grow up with hardships that then turn around, the old Horatio Alger, you know, result of storytelling. The first people to really do it in yellow journalism, put it down on paper. Cartoon character Horatio Alger. So this is the coming of age. You know what I mean? But Batman was, think about it. He was born with the world at his fingertips. He had all the money in the world, but it still couldn't replace the fact that he lost his parents. But
Yeah.
Spider-Man, well, he gets all the empathy in the world. I mean, you think about what happened to him in his youth. So I think there'll be some deep layering and decoding to the Lethal Leopard's character as we move forward, when you find out why he's on this quest. What kind of, deep rooted, because we're talking about past lives, and this Anubis is traveling through and finding out about, why this person, is on this quest, right? So I think there's so many layers and so much opportunity in the comic book world to tell a story, and to draw people in with what has somebody been through that makes them empathetic, makes them relatable, and makes their character kick ass. But if that guy can't fly, I pretty much got to write him the fuck off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta fly. I love the wings. I love it because the main thing that we came about, excluding just thinking of an awesome concept, is that we're coming at it through creative and fun. And there's no limitations on this character. That's why I wanted to make him in his own world, because in my main series project now, it's just there's no multiverse or do-overs. In here, we are in the middle of hell, and you see him fighting the demons. This cover is done by Kane White, a phenomenal artist who did our variant covers and our exclusive covers for this campaign, that we have 3 limited editions that are exclusive to 100 copies. I was telling everybody, we sold 100 of these flyers for $30, no problem. What do you think is going to happen when we have these books in hand? This is a must grab. I love this little thing here that Kanan did, that the reflection of the sword is your Anubis form. I think it's so crazy. It's such a cool little touch, and super jacked, super jacked and super hyped. And the lines and inks are stellar. We have 3 limited edition things on this campaign. We have an ash can, which is a smaller printed with no words. It's going to be black and white of all the interiors and the covers, limited to 100 copies. It's a must grab. We have the limited edition front cover. That's a virgin, meaning no trade dress, no logo, the black and white edition. And then we have that virgin as well. I highly recommend grabbing these. They're super cool. The buy-in for a digital is only $10, and our regular single issue is $15, and it goes up from whatever you were able to throw down with us and join this massive movement. You're a part of something new. This is a brand new issue 1 created by me and the man beside me, and with an amazing art team. And we are definitely down to do so many more of these things and have like an open world. And there's so much potential in this. And this really sets the ground for what we're building. We put so much work into this and time, and I'm so excited to get this book into people's hands, because we are funded. Everyone's guaranteed your book. The lines and inks are already done. All we have to do is color it, and I highly recommend checking us out. Lethal Leopard #1. I am so excited for this. I know it's going to be so cool, especially when you're at a convention and things like that. To have a book like this on top is just like next level.
Heck yeah. No, it's fire. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for it too. Being a comic book character is dope, but more importantly, being able to be a part of the creative process has been dope too.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And it's been fun all the way through. We're having a great time. And speaking of the creative process, we're here, of course, to talk Lethal Leopard, but we're also here to talk about Fourth Rope, where you're the Flyweight Champion of the world. Put on amazing shows. You just did WrestleCade, right? You just did WrestleCade a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we did WrestleCade, and then I went to Art Basel to promote the Billionaire Boys Club collab that Fourth Rope merged. West Side Gun did, and Gun's a smart guy, bro, and I got to give him credit where he touches. He's smart about what he does and how he does it. And it was cool. His sneaker dropped also at the same time. Fashion Week, Miami, Art Basel, and he had his concert on Saturday night, Gun Basel. So Fourth Rope is not just wrestling. It's hip hop. It's a movement. It's it's a real opportunity for fans of hip hop and wrestling to see it like never before. And we separate the two things for real. We don't try to get the rapper involved in the art of pro wrestling. We keep it simple. We do have that crossover, but there's artists that come out with wrestlers to the ring, that rap wrestlers to the ring. We just did that on our last show. It was fire. But usually we give you music in the first 10 minutes and the last 20. And it's a 2-hour show. We keep it tight. So you get 20 minutes main event music, as I would look at it. We had Bun B and Styles P on the last show, Joey Badass, Beanie Siegel, Smoke Dizza, West Side Gun, Benny the Butcher. In the past, we've had Killer Mike, sitting there in the front row when I jumped over the guardrail. Zilla Fatu caught me in the neck with a Samoan spike, as he calls it. And it was crazy. I jumped over the guy who won the Grammy for the best rap album of the year's head, and I got caught in the air. And that was one hell of a finish. And I hate it when a guy gets hit with a finishing move on the outside and they roll him in and they don't go for the cover, pin him, or it's not the so hey, look, you ain't got to hit me with your finish twice. You can hit me on the outside, put me in the fucking ring. 1, 2, 3. That was it. And Zilla, like I said, Umaga's son, great wrestler, young, got a great future ahead of him. As long as he keeps his head on his shoulders, I think his sky is the limit for him. But he's a real tough motherfucker. So I wouldn't recommend anybody trying to throw hands with him. I hope that he can restrain himself from having to smack somebody's dumbasses around. But he's a cool kid. He's got the future, and I hope that he gets into this. I talked to him with you at Comic-Con, and I think he'd be happy to. So it's a cool world that I'm embarking on with Lethal Leopard, and I think we got plenty room for some of this fourth rope roster to hop in, get a character in a comic book, and come flex for us. It'd be a good look for everybody.
Yeah, because
think about it. If you're fans, do you want to see some wrestlers in the comic book series? Because Lord knows I know a few of them.
Yeah, 100%. And for me personally, yes, and that's why I was happy to get you involved. And of course, I'm a big WWE guy. I've always watched wrestling since I was 3 years old, and watching you from screen to having you as a collaborating partner is awesome. You know what I mean? And speaking about finishes and stuff like that, I'm going to go random for you. I'm going to hit you with a speedball. The big finish, and I saw you post on your story, a former mentor of yours, John Cena, just retired. What is your feelings for something like that just transpired?
Love John. The GOAT. Nothing but great things to say about him. Everything he's ever done. I can't even begin. I don't even know where to start, dude. Like, he's the man. So God bless him. All the make-a-wishes that he did, all the smiles he put on faces, all the nights that he was hurt, that he still got in the ring, all the shit that he went through, all the people talking bad about him. He just perseveres over and over and over again, and I look forward to seeing what he does next. And I'm always going to support him in and out of the ring on anything he does, man. He's one of the people that helped change my life forever and gave me an opportunity in the business that I love. This is what I want to do. I want to be a pro wrestler. But he also showed you that you could do it in other lanes, places, and avenues. And he's a trendsetter, and you show him a wall, he'll show you a way to knock it down. There's nothing that gets in his way. He's goal oriented, smart, fixed, focused man, and a true inspiration to anybody that not even any pro wrestler, just any human being.
100%.
Unbelievable human. Unbelievable. 1 in a million. Love the guy. Changed my life. Nothing but great shit to say about John.
And did you catch the match? You catch his last match?
I watched the highlights of
the highlights. Now, you're a man in the business. You're writing your own show.
Avoidable. I don't think I could have avoided swiping through, what an iPhone knows is Enzo Amore's iPhone.
Yeah.
And I'm going to open up my Instagram. I'm going to open up my Twitter, and Instagram's going to tell me, the world's going to tell me, hey, John's, this was the result of what happened. And God bless him. You knew exactly what time it was, what he was going to do, how he was going to go out, on a, like a gentleman, bro. Like a gentleman, a true gentleman in this business.
You're a man now that's, you're producing these shows, you're figuring out these match cards, and WWE now with their Netflix, they did a whole thing called, I'm pretty sure it was called Unrivaled, where they go behind the scenes, they're showing people all this stuff. And then when they had, John Cena did take that submission tap out, the fans were erupted. They were going crazy, for you as a producer now, do you think that was the perfect finish for someone like John Cena?
Oh yeah. No, I think it was, if you ask me if it was the perfect finish for a guy like John Cena, John would tell you, and I think that it's not about him. It wasn't, it's not the perfect finish for John Cena. It's the perfect finish for Cody, the future of pro wrestling, Seth, the variables at the top of the card that can now, Rocky, whoever ends up, playing Rocky, in Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky, you're at least fixing to see Rocky 3 and 4 for the next 5 to 10 years. I would say, because Gunther's, 38, he's in his prime. This is when John hit his stride, when, Fergal and Samoa Joe and all the people really at the top of their game in their late 30s. And Gunther, when Brock got put over by Taker, the timing, I think it's all timing. And Rocky needs the Russian.
Yeah.
And if John was Captain America and he just tapped out to Russia real quick,
Yeah.
to the Russian, well, shit, Rocky's, Apollo Creed is down and Apollo Creed is gone. Where's Rocky? So somebody's going to have to avenge that loss that John and who's it going to be, and how's it going to happen? And I think that the opportunity is there for the next guy, and that the future probably, is built through the heel, because the game is really, the chase, the money's in the chase. And now you've got the perfect heel from, European nation with a nose in the air and a moniker about himself that tells you he's better than the next man. And he can now brag on that for the rest of his career. And we know what he brings to the table as a performer. He's dependable. He's tough. So, the number one liability that you come up with when you're booking the main event for WrestleMania, I would say, if I'm a producer, is if this guy goes out there in the first 5 minutes of the show and dislocates his fucking hip, breaks his forearm and it's bent sideways, is he going to give us another 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Can I count on the main event to go out there no matter what happens to him, like John Cena, and give you everything he's got? Because there's 100 and some odd thousand people out there, or 80,000 people out there, 60, 90, whatever it is. These big venues, these big pay-per-views, these opportunities, you got to depend and trust the guy that you're putting out there in the ring to finish the job. And when you put him in the main event, there's no way out except for go out there and finish the fucking match. And if you're in the opening match, you can go out there and get hurt and we can call the match and get to the next one. But not if you're out there fighting for that heavyweight title. And John did it for how many years,
Long time.
I don't think that anybody doubts that Gunther has the testicular fortitude to go out there and finish a main event at WrestleMania. I think he's got that it factor. I think he definitely checks that box, which is important. And you're not supposed to like him. And the guy who takes out John Cena shouldn't be a babyface. It should be somebody that you can hate for the next 5 to 10 years because he's that damn good in the ring, and there's nothing anybody can do about it until you get that, whether it's Cody that climbs that mountain, or it's it's a Javon Evans or Leon Slater, whoever it is. I don't know, but that you got that guy sitting at the top of the card for the guy that took out Cena ain't got to go nowhere.
Yeah, he's their next.
I hope
Lesnar.
they paid him. I hope they paid him before they did that.
yeah, they got him on a new contract because I thought that too. It's like the same way you see a UFC fighter go to the boxing once they're.
Well, we know what the finish is going to be. We don't have to tell him. So let's extend that old contract now before we let him take out John Cena with a sleeper and Tony Khan throws him a fucking couple of donuts.
Yeah. And that's what's great. You have so many wrestling corporations, and what you're doing with Fourth Rope, and you have amazing talent. Like I said, I've been to the show. I thought it was awesome. Now you're building up talent of your own along with yourself. Talk about some of the guys that you're building up the same way you were getting built up from NXT that you're able to build up now that you think has a great future.
Yeah, man, I'm a big fan of the entertainment that goes down on pro wrestling show, and that varies from match to match. So I love producing the card with Smoke Dizza and West Side Gun. They book the wrestlers, we just kind of take it from there, come up with the timestamps, figure out what order we're going to make the wrestlers, what the finishes are, and all of that stuff. It's been a breath of fresh air, and we've really tried to keep it fresh, keep it new, and also open that forbidden door for AEW and TNA to have matchups that you'll see nowhere else. We just saw MVP come out to We Hurt People with Cedric Alexander on our show, who works for TNA. You see on NXT, and now Cedric Alexander is on Fourth Rope Wrestling with AEW. People, there's a crossover there that you really aren't going to see anywhere else, as far as I know. That you get to see a Dolph Ziggler on WWE Monday Night Raw, and then a week later he's on Fourth Rope. So.
Which is crazy. And what a lot of people don't know too is like your tag team champs are the Hardys. You have veterans, you have these young guys like Cha-Cha Charlie and all these amazing people that are really bringing the show together.
Yeah,
and you are getting
when it boils down to it, everybody in the building is a pro, and we have no issues putting together our show. Everyone has been so proper, and they understand the wrestling etiquette and the world of it. But really, it's a new flavor because it's rap and it's just fun in the backstage area, and it's a new way to do this business, and it's through a different lens, and the way that the rappers see the business, they don't want drama. They give out wrestling finishes. Nobody's there. Everybody gets paid the same, whether they win, lose, draw, or no matter what it is. We've all been there. I've lost my wrestling matches to Micro Man. He's the smallest pro wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I've also, know what it's like to say, no, I can't lose. So it's a fine line, and I get it, but everybody's been so cool at Fourth Rope with going out there and just putting on the best show that you can. Shout out to, Joe Alonzo and Nick Nemeth. They wrestled each other on the last Fourth Rope show at WrestleCade. I look forward to anybody who gets to watch that match and get familiar with Joe Alonzo. I think he's dope. And he's got a great future. And, Zilla Fatu, same difference. So Hardy Boys grabbed the mic at the end of the show, and they said, this kid's the future of pro wrestling. So that's Fourth Rope. And I'm lucky to be a part of it. Timing is everything, because I told you I was a part of something that was really special in a renaissance of pro wrestling. I'm still a part of it now in a different realm, and behind the curtain. And now here we are, an hour in talking about this comic book. The world's my oyster. I'm just blessed to be able to get, pearls. It's a blessing.
Yeah, it really is. And, and I know that even to like you had Frankie Kazarian, who's the TNA champ, right? He was on WrestleCade with you guys too. And you had, you made your appearance at TNA coming out, making a killing, literally coming out as a Fourth Rope faction, letting everybody know you guys are down for business. It was a sick pop, trending on Twitter. Everything you do gets trending.
It was lit that night, to be a part of TNA Slammiversary. I got to thank the locker room and, Tommy Dreamer and all the people that have been open to opportunity to work with us. It's just been cool, man. It's really been nothing but love. Like, I don't see how it could go, south with everyone understanding that this is pro wrestling, and that's what it is. It's not real life,
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't get it minced, not to say like watching Gunther, that guy looks like he's having an MMA fight, bro. I don't know if I want to sign up for that one, but
he looks like some of these are happening. Man, let's see.
Is brought to you by Modelo.
Oh, bro, you know what? I wanted to do that with Tama Tonga. I wanted to. That Ben Askren knockout right there that you just showed.
Is brought to you by Modelo.
Mastoval looked so much like Tama Tonga at a time where I was talking so much shit that I wanted to gas people up, and ding, 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 he just charges at me. I go to single leg him and makes it look like he knocks me out. I would have done the same exact thing that they did. And then I would have asked Tama at the time if he was down to do that, to like just celebrate so crazy and have the referee not know what's going on. Like, there's so many places you can take it from there. You could go home. They'll just like throw up an X. He's knocked out. And then I don't give a fuck. Just tell everybody it was real, And then everybody would be like, oh, did you see Tama knock out Enzo? And then what's going to happen? We're going to get even bigger house for the rematch.
And you were taking crazy bumps. The one you did
but
with
I would
Fatu?
also make that thing look exactly like Ben Askren just did. Real. Make it look real. Charge me. I'll go to single leg you, knock me out. I'll sell it like a knockout, and then let's do a rematch. And then in the rematch, we could try that shit again, and then get into making it look like a scrap, and then get into a wrestling match and make people realize we worked them, and we sold more tickets, and that we had a night off. Probably go cheers a beer when we're done doing it. Like, it's a work. People think, oh, Enzo was talking all that shit, and then ding, 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 he charged him and he kneed him and knocked him out just like Ben Askren, and fucking, they would, most of all, it would, art imitates life, so it would have just worked, and it would have been dope to do. And then, I don't care looking like a fucking idiot at the end of the day in a wrestling ring, especially if you're going to give it back to me, especially if we're going to get more tickets sold on the next one. Why wouldn't we do this? Why wouldn't we make them think the shit was real? And now all of a sudden in the second one, they think we're going to go fucking do that again. And we can do something like throw a kick and catch it. Just circle like pro wrestling, throwing fists.
Yeah.
Show you that we were fucking you over the whole time.
Yeah.
Making you think we really hated each other. That would have been
and
dope.
It's still possible. You have more people on the horizon. You have so many great wrestlers that are crossing over. I feel like the only place
I missed a lot of the boat on the real opportunities to make people think that I was an asshole. Like, it didn't get me anywhere in the business. making people think I was a psychopath, some Brian Pillman shit. They really thought I was a psychopath. And I don't know if that's the route you want to take into, ding, 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 making shit real. I at this point in my career, bro, ding, 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 let's lock up, man. Let me just lock up with you, and we can get to where we got to go. But yeah,
as the
I
flyweight
appreciate the
champion,
love.
we
We
do
did
start.
an hour here for Lethal Leopard. I hope we raise some interest, some money, and some people want to have some Lethal Leopard comic book in their hand. The action figures soon to follow.
Yeah, it's super sick. We're an hour in. Lethal Leopard. You can buy in where it's acceptable for you. $15 for a cover A, cover B, $20. Ships right to your door. Interior art, absolutely amazing, by Igor Texeria, and colors by Prasad Rao. Created by Real1 and yours truly, Paul Thayer, on a 24-page epic comic book. Come on, join us. Join the masses. We have 4 days left for you to back Lethal Leopard, and we need you. We need you to join us. We're making an impact, and you've never seen how we do it. We did our first convention. We're killing with flyers. These books, these exclusive ones, will sell out in person. So if you want to grab your copy, I highly recommend doing it. Before we head out, I know we had a couple of quick little comments. I just wanted to showcase them. Someone said, my GOAT, Enzo. Super nice of them. Someone says, does Enzo have his own merch? I always wanted to see a Peli collab like Rikishi Fat wear back in the day.
Rikishi, bro, with the South Pole sweaters and shit. Gold, man. I hope that Rikishi still has them old velours, dude. Those things were fire. Yeah, I got merch. I got sweatshirts and t-shirts that are going to be going up on the website. That's the link in my bio. I should be updating that shortly. So it's on my IG, my social media. I appreciate the love I get. You can follow me on TikTok at Real1 Brand, on YouTube at Real1 Brand, and on Twitter and on, well, now X, and Instagram at Real1 with the number, not the word. I'm gonna tune out on y'all. I got somebody drilling next door to my house right now, as you can probably hear.
We got it. We're gonna wrap up. We appreciate everybody. We appreciate the Real1. It was a great stream. Back Lethal Leopard today. We're gonna close this one out, and everyone have a wonderful day.
And that's all, folks.